Hello and welcome to Families Made Differently, the podcast designed to share stories from across the UK of Christians whose lives and families have been shaped by fostering and adoption. Today, I am so excited to be speaking to Helen, who shares how everyone could get involved in supporting foster carers, adopters, and the children in the system. Hello and welcome to Families Made Differently. We are here today with our lovely guest, Helen. She is joining us to talk to us a bit about her journey in the adoption and fostering world. So I'll start by letting her introduce herself.
So I'm Helen. I'm a grandparent, a parent. I've been a children's worker and I've been involved with kids in many different ways. From the adoption perspective, I think I got involved from when I was a children's worker at my church, and we had children there who were adopted. And also we had people in the church who were going along the adoption journey themselves. It just really struck me to be able to walk the journey with these people, but just really exciting to see children being taken into homes. For some people who can't have children themselves, to have the joy of being able to have a family is really important. I got involved by walking alongside them and doing things.
And as a result of you coming into the adoption or fostering world, I guess that was kind of out of your hands a little bit. You felt God maybe putting it on your heart, or has he been encouraging you to get more involved? How's that happen?
Well, I guess just seeing how these families are able to open their arms to children, that just really shows me, their heart for children, but also God's heart for children. And God cares for all of us. We're in that whole, we're all part of his family in that sense, and he wants everyone, and that includes everyone, to be in families and to know they're loved and known. So I think because of that, I got involved with helping them. I had the opportunity to be references for people, and that gave me a real insight what people have to go through in order to adopt, but also what's needed and just how they're doing that. And as well as helping people at my church, my own daughter and son-in-law decided they wanted to adopt, and they were on that journey. It's not necessarily an easy one, but it's to see their heart for wanting to open their family up. Having them consequently adopt 2 siblings has been an amazing thing to see. As God has worked through them, and they have become a real blessing to us as a family.
How has adoption shaped your family?
Well, adoption's shaped our family by giving us 2 extra grandchildren. We have 2 other grandchildren as well, and it's just marvellous to see the family grow, and it's really affected, I think, our other children have seen the difference it's made well, and in fact other members of our family perhaps are considering that they might do that. But actually just seeing how it's shaped our family, it's just helped us to grow, to accept more, but also I think it's made us look outside, open our eyes to the fact there are a lot of children out there, and actually there's so many people need helping. And actually, if you know about adoption, if fostering as well, that there are so many ways that we can help other people. And actually that's made our daughter who adopts and her husband, they talk to lots of people about adoption. They stand up and they go around and share. I've become part of that as well, and that's what I do when I have the chance.
Suddenly once it's on your doorstep, you can't ignore the fact that there are people that need help and need support right there.
Absolutely.
And we need to be involved in that journey, don't we?
Oh, definitely. And I think it is really important, even if you're not going to do the adopting or fostering yourself, it's really important to come alongside those people. It isn't for everyone, but actually everyone can play their part, and supporting people who foster and adopt is actually also really key.
But what are the areas that you support adopters or foster carers?
Currently in our church we have a group called Smile. We really try to support as many people fostering and adopting. We have a number of people in the church that do that, and we have this group that comes alongside them. And sometimes it's as much as when they've got new children, come to them, taking meals around for them. But there are people within our church who are actually able to do babysitting for people who have foster. But sometimes just to be a listening ear, be able to pray and come alongside, as well get to know these new children that come, especially when children are fostered. They come perhaps into a church environment. It can be quite a difficult thing for them because they've got a lot of change in their lives, and actually really accepting them and just accepting them as who they are, and not trying to ask too many awkward questions is actually really key as well. But actually we run a group where we have lunches for those who foster and adopt, but also for people who are interested, is just signposting them so to places like Home for Good, and there are courses that they can go on to find out more, just linking people up who've done it, because I think the more people find out about adoption and fostering, I think the more people feel they want to be involved.
And what a great opportunity we have as the church to be this place that is like really warm and loving to children in the system. Hopefully that feeling will stay with them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, we've been able to, when we've had foster children at the church, when they've been going on to a placement, as the church, we've been able to perhaps give them a gift, maybe give them a Bible and things, which is, when you're doing the fostering, is not as easy to do, but actually it's all right because we're outside of that organisation in one sense, so
that's great.
It can really be encouraging.
Thank you. What is your favourite memory so far on your family's adoption journey?
Oh, well, I think it's got to be the sort of celebration hearing in some ways, just knowing that they really were 100% part of the family, even though they had been for a few months and it looked like that was going to happen. And it was just such a great day when the judge was there and just sort of said, hey, this is it. Yeah, knowing that that part of the journey was over and the next forever part of the journey, certainly when they really begin to recognise you as grandparents, that's just special as well.
Okay, and how has God been speaking to you in the midst of it all?
Well, I think, it's just been a real challenge in many ways, I think, to not forget about all these children. Obviously my experience as a children's worker with those children, just seeing the difference that made to a few children, the more I find out, the more I've done. It's made me want to be part of this journey, and I probably won't ever adopt or foster myself, but actually being part of helping people progress to doing that, also for all those children out there. I think my heart is always going to be for that.
And have you experienced God's blessing in the midst of it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I know certainly we're a step away as the grandparents in that sense, but we can look in and see just the real blessings that our two grandchildren have been to us and to their parents. And yes, it's not easy, but actually no parenting is easy.
No.
I think that's, it's good to see when God is at work changing people's lives and hearts.
And do you have any advice that you would give someone starting their journey into adoption, I guess mainly with fostering as well?
I think you've just really got to be realistic about what you can do in that way. But, really pushing that door and seeing. I think being prepared for things to be tough, but actually being prepared for those blessings and just that knowledge of really doing something. Maybe for you, this is what God's asking you to do. I don't think it's an easy journey, but it's a very rewarding journey.
Has it been challenging as a grandparent watching on in any way?
I think immediately we didn't think, oh, that's a very strange thing to do. We didn't think, I think it was, yeah. And I think we just knew that these were children that were going to be our grandchildren. It was easy for us in one sense, although I think what was hard was the process going through for our daughter and her husband. I think that was quite hard. It can be hard, or it can be slow. It feels like you're going to have this child now, and actually now seems to be 2 or 3 months' time. So it's that having patience to wait, and with all red tape and systems, that can feel frustrating. So I think our frustration was there more for that, but just being able to pray that God's timing is in these things is key. When we were asked the question, well, how will you treat these children? We were like, well, we'll treat them like our grandchildren, So
that's lovely. Thank you for coming today to chat to us. We've been blessed by you sharing your story and your experience. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Wow, I feel truly blessed. I feel like every guest we've had so far has brought so much insight and just like godly perspective into the conversation around fostering and adoption. I think Helen was great because she just added so much wisdom around the church and our response as the church to surround foster carers, adopters, to create inviting spaces for those children to come in and to really be intentional with children who are new. That insight is just so valuable. And I just feel like each guest has just brought a unique take on it in such a beautiful way. I'm so excited. I'll give you a little sneak peek this time. Episode number 4, we will be talking to a social worker. That is just a completely different take again. If you would like to share your experience, your expertise in the area of fostering and adoption, we would love to hear from you at Families Made Differently. DM us or email us. We would really love to hear from you because it would mean that we could add your perspective in this world of fostering and adoption so that more and more people come to an understanding, but even maybe a desire to consider fostering, adopting, or supported lodgings. We'd love for people to be inspired, to be motivated, and just to be encouraged. Thank you. See you next time. This was Families Made Differently, the podcast designed to share stories from Christians across the UK whose lives and families have been shaped by fostering and adoption. Please follow Families Made Differently on Instagram and make sure you have all your notifications turned on so that you're notified about the next podcast.